Hello everyone. As per request, I am uploading a video again. In the last video, I was explaining about mitosis and meiosis, and here I am with a quick summary of a chapter, cell. Cell is what? It is a fundamental unit of life. Okay, why we call it fundamental unit? Because it is the smallest unit. Okay, besides being fundamental unit, it is also structural and functional unit of life. So there is a question in the NCERT, why cell is called structural and functional unit of life. So how are you going to answer the question? As it is providing structure to all the living organisms. Okay, life begin with a cell. You know that as a result of fertilization, zygote is formed. So zygote will be converted into embryo, then the embryo will be converted into fetus, then we have whole organism. So as the life begin from the cell. Okay, all the organisms are made up of cells. Cell is providing structure to all the organisms. That's why we call it structural unit. Also, it is performing all the essential functions that are important for the sustenance of the life of an individual. So we call it fundamental unit. Okay. So I hope that is clear why the cell is fundamental and structural and functional unit of life. Then the other thing is, who discovered cell? So cell was discovered by Robert Hooke in 1665 under simple microscope, but Robert Hooke discovered the dead cell. Living cell was discovered by Leeuwenhoek. Okay, then moving ahead, about the structure of the cell. So when we look at the structure of the cell, it has a cell membrane, it has a nucleus, and it has cytoplasm. Cell membrane, besides cell membrane, some of the cell also have one of the outer covering which is called cell wall. Okay, cell wall is precisely present in all the plant cells, and it is present in the prokaryotic cells as well. Cell wall composition vary. What type of cell you are talking about. If you are talking about a plant cell, so then the cell wall comprises of cellulose. If you are talking about the cell wall of a fungi, it has chitin in it. Okay, so the composition of the cell wall is not same in all types of cells. But yes, cell wall is not present in all the living cells as well. Cell wall is rigid, complex, and it is freely permeable. It will allow everything to cross. Okay, moving towards the cell membrane. Cell membrane is not allowing things. Okay, it is selectively permeable. It is going to select the things that can cross it. Okay, it is made up of lipids and protein. Cell membrane is present in all the living cells. Okay, all the living cells have cell membrane. Okay, now this cell membrane is monitoring what is going to enter the cell, what is going to move out of the cell. The process through which the things are crossing, reaching into the cell, going out of the cell, that is diffusion and osmosis. Please note down, diffusion and osmosis are different processes. Diffusion is movement of molecule from the region of higher concentration to the region of lower concentration. It can happen in the solids, liquids, and gaseous. But when we look into osmosis is precisely taking place in liquids. Okay, so movement of molecule from the region of higher water concentration to the region of lower water concentration, that is the osmosis. Now if the movement of molecules are towards the cell, we call it endoosmosis, and when it is out of the cell, we call it exoosmosis. When there is endoosmosis, the cell will become fully turgid, and the cell will become the turgid, and the other case, the exoosmosis one, the cell will become flaccid. Okay, so you can observe osmosis in three types of solution: hypertonic, hypotonic, and isotonic solution. So hypertonic solution is the type of solution in which the concentration of solute is higher than that of solvent. So movement of molecule will take place out of the cell. And then hypotonic solution is the solution in which the solvent concentration is more. So you can observe the movement of molecules towards the cell. Okay, then isotonic, both of them have equal water concentration or solvent concentration, so there will be no movement. Okay, so I hope hypertonic, hypotonic, and isotonic is clear. How the cell will shrink. Cell will shrink when they are losing the sap, okay, or the water. So they will be becoming flaccid. Okay, so this is what cell membrane is. Now the cytoplasm is the jelly-like substance that is present between the space of nucleus and the cell membrane. Now this jelly-like substance have tiny organelles present within. So these organelles are responsible for performing different functions. Okay, cell organelles are endoplasmic reticulum, ribosomes, plastids, mitochondria, or ribosomes, vacuoles, lysosomes, Golgi bodies. Okay, so a cell has many cell organelles. As you have different organs in your body performing different functions, these cell organelles are also performing different functions for a cell. Okay, then we have the nucleus, which is present in the center of the cell, and the nucleus is very important part. Okay, in the prokaryotic cells, prominent nucleus is absent, but they have all the nuclear material present in a certain space. So the space at which this nuclear material is present, we call them nucleoid. Okay, and the nucleus was discovered by Robert Brown. Okay, now nucleus comprises of nuclear membrane, nucleoplasm, and it has thread-like material, like we call it chromatin material, which will condense during the cell division and it will form chromosomes. Also it has nucleolus, which is responsible for the synthesis of ribosomes. Okay, you can say that this nucleus is regulating so many activities of the cell, so they are the brain of the cell. Okay, so that's how cell is. Now depending on the prominent presence of the nucleus, prominent presence of the membrane bound cell organelle, the cell can be a prokaryotic cell and a eukaryotic cell. Okay, second thing I just want to bring into the notice that number of cells can vary from organism to organisms. Even in humans are same, right? But still, if I have any number of cells, it's not necessary the same number of cells will be present in you. Okay, so number of cells depends on this like size of an organism. Like a mouse and an elephant both will have different number of cells, but that doesn't mean that the mouse have small cells and the elephant will have giant cell. Okay, shape of the cell depends on the function. Remember the diagram of the nerve cell, it's elongated. Why it's elongated? Elongated because it needs to collect the impulse, it needs to transmit the impulses. Okay, so this is how the cell is. Okay, please let me know if it helps. Thank you so much. Bye bye all of you.